So I'm surprised at how many people want to know my opinion about what happened between Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars. Now, I didn't watch the Oscars. I don't watch the Oscars. In fact, I hear that there's not a whole lot of people watching the Oscars these days, which causes some people to think that maybe Will Smith and Chris Rock staged the whole event to make the Oscars regain interest. Did you hear what happened at the Oscars? What? Will Smith walked on stage and smacked Chris Rock right in the face. Really? What happened? Well, you see, so here's what happened. Chris Rock's job as a host is he roasts people that are in the audience, actors and such, right? You know what, when there's those comedy roasts, they call it, their job is to throw jokes at people and kind of insult them and tease them, right? It's what comedians do all the time, especially at shows like that. And, you know, whether people get their feelings hurt and take it serious or not, well, you never know, because mostly they laugh. But Will Smith's wife was sitting next to him at the Oscar shows. Her name's Jada, right? Jada. And I guess what's been happening with Jada is that she has something called alopecia, which is causing her to experience hair loss. And I guess, you know, it's really tough for her. But she has gone public about this and made videos, I guess, about it. And so to be able to better deal with the hair loss, she used clippers, like buzzed her hair really short, right? Like a buzz cut. Like me, I recently did a buzz cut on my hair as well, just because I wanted to buzz it short, so I did. Well, she's doing it because of hair loss, and so Chris Rock made a comment about Will Smith's wife in front of the whole audience, mentioning about he'll see her in G.I. Jane Part 2, something like that. Now, G.I. Jane Part 1, there was only one movie, G.I. Jane, I believe anyway. That was a movie made quite a while back that starred Demi Moore, and she was a GI, right, in the military, and she had a buzzed haircut. And so when women have short hair or a buzz cut, you know, they call it the G.I. Jane. I'm in the hair industry, so I know this. You know, women come in and, I want a short haircut, but I don't want to look like G.I. Jane. And I know exactly what they're talking about when they say that. So the same thing with the audience. They understood the joke, people laughed, even Will Smith laughed. But then the camera goes to his wife, and you see her not so happy. She rolled her eyes kind of, and didn't look happy at all about the remark. And so Will Smith, he's kind of like, you know, he kind of laughed at first, but I think he thought about it, and he sees that his wife's not happy, so he kind of starts yelling at Chris Rock from his chair, you know, and don't be talking about my wife like that. And you know the rest. He gets up out of his seat, walks up on stage, and open palm slaps Chris Rock in the face. Now, I'm under the category of people that believe that it was real. It looked pretty real to me. It didn't look like what you see in professional wrestling, right? The entertainment stuff. So, now the big controversy is, you know, what should happen to Will Smith? Is Chris Rock going to sue him? Supposedly he's not going to sue him. He's going to try to let it go or whatever. But, you know, you hear a lot of different sides. Some people, you know, you might hear, hey, the man was defending his wife. He was defending her honor, and he just went up there and went old school and smacked him in the face, right? And you might be like, yeah, man, smack him one. And then you hear other people saying that they do not condone violence, and violence is not the answer. So they do not believe that Will Smith did the right thing. So, what are my views on it? As if my views really matter. But since people are interested in what I think about it, I'll tell you, I hear the comments made from people that were at the show. Because this stuff's going viral on YouTube. Even people I'm sub to are talking about this, right? And people are actually contacting me and asking me, what do I think about it? And I'm like, I don't want to make long emails, so I'll just make a video and answer the question. So when I hear actors talking about how they do not condone violence and violence is not ever the answer, and they're shocked at Will Smith's behavior, this word comes to mind. And it's not to put people down for not condoning violence or anything like that. I don't condone violence either, and I don't think violence is the answer. And I don't think if you get mad at somebody, you should go smack them in the face. But I do know what it's like to not use self-control. And, maybe you hit somebody, or you want to, or you cuss them out, or you whatever. I know what that's like. When that's not the answer to solve your problems. So, I would agree, yes, violence is not the answer. We shouldn't condone violence. But here's the thing, you guys. The word hypocrite comes to my mind. Now, do you know that we get the English word hypocrite from the Greek word hupokritos, hupokrites, that's how you say it. I think I'm saying that right. Hupokrités, it's pronounced something like that, hypocrites, but it's where we get the English word hypocrite. Maybe I'll do a video on origin of words someday, since I do a little series called Origin of Words. I'll bring up that word. So hypocrites, do you know what it means? It means a pretender or an actor. Now, I'm not trying to say all actors are hypocrites, but it's interesting. The meaning of the word hypocrite is a pretender or an actor. An actor. Can an actor be a hypocrite? You better believe it. Because I'm hearing a whole bunch of actors saying that they do not condone violence, and violence is never the answer. Yet, when they are offered a bunch of money to play a character that believes that violence is the answer, and that character beats up, maybe even kills a whole bunch of people. Maybe it's John Wick, right? A guy that just, beats up people and kills them all. So if you get an actor, like let's say the actor that plays John Wick, let's say you get him and they interview him about the whole Will Smith and Chris Rock, what do you think? And he says, violence is never the answer. I do not condone violence at all. But, dude, you get paid a whole bunch of money to play a character that condones violence, even to the point of killing. Now, I'm not trying to talk smack about people that act in those kinds of movies or anything. I mean, let's face it. Most of you have seen the movie called The Passion of the Christ. And the Passion of the Christ is mostly about the beating that Jesus took for us. Now, they had to hire people to act in that movie and play the Roman soldiers that took these instruments that they beat Jesus with, and not only make it look like they're giving him a good beating, but it looked like they were really enjoying what they were doing. So their characters believe that violence is the answer. They condone violence and they enjoy it. But I'm not going to put those men down for playing that role. It was a pretty serious role. But so I don't want to put the actor that plays John Wick, who is Keanu Reeves, I don't want to put him down either, but I'm just using a for instance. If he were to be interviewed and he's saying, I do not condone violence, violence is never the answer, well, it kind of makes you a hypocrite that you play this character that condones violence, and violence is the answer. And there are people that want to be just like John Wick. See, when you watch movies, it's a form of programming. Like when I was a child, I watched the television show that was called The Incredible Hulk. And after I'd watched The Incredible Hulk, I started doing and acting like The Incredible Hulk, doing things like Hulk does, growl and roar and grab rocks and throw them. And I even believed so much that I actually was turning into the Hulk and becoming the Hulk, that I would actually grab with my hands cactuses. We grew cactuses all over in our yard, and I would grab them in front of the neighbors. There was this neighbor girl that came over once in a while, and I was showing off in front of her, and I'd grab the cactuses and tear them apart with my hands and growl like the Hulk, and she'd say, "Oh, Hulk, that must hurt." And so I stopped pretending I was the Incredible Hulk the day that I was pretending with her that I was the Hulk, and there just so happened to be a box of matches outside, and I started lighting matches and pretending I'm Hulk. And having a lit match in my hand, and she says, "Hulk, we're not supposed to light matches. I am going to go tell your mom." And she runs over to my house and tells my mom on me. And I believed I was the Hulk so much that I sat there and waited for myself to turn back into Michael Lehre. So it took me a lot of time to pretend that I was in the middle of transforming back to Michael, and I'm thinking in my head, because I'm playing this character, and I got this girl believing I'm the Incredible Hulk, and now I have to stick to my character. And so what I got to do is not say, "Hey, I'm just kidding." Now I got to transform back into me. And I'm doing this as she's running to the house to go tell on me to my mom. And she did tell on me, and I got a really good spanking with a belt for playing with matches. And I knew I wasn't supposed to. And what am I going to say to my mom? "Mom, it wasn't me. I turned into the Hulk." So, no, I didn't do that, and that wouldn't have worked. Although I'm pretty sure my mom probably would have deep down inside laughed if I would have said that. So what I'm saying is, when people watch these movies, some people are very impressionable. And they do things that they see their favorite actors doing or their heroes doing. And that might include killing somebody. Unfortunately, people do these things, you guys. Have you ever heard of copycat killers? They might see on the news that there was this crazy psychotic murderer, and this is what the murderer was doing and killing people, and then what's the copycat do? Does the same thing. hey, that sounds like a great idea. I should do that. And they do. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't ever watch movies that have violence. I'm not trying to say anything like that. All I'm saying is, when people say, I do not condone violence, violence is not the answer, and these are the people that play the violent characters that show that violence is the answer, well then, I have to say, they live up to the definition for the word actor, which is hypocrite. Now, do I condone Will Smith's behavior? No, I don't. Do I think a man should stick up for his wife if somebody else is doing something to hurt her in some type of way? Of course. But it would have been more powerful, of course, if he would have maybe used his words after the show and just had a talk with them. But you know, I don't want to be a hypocrite either, because I know what it's like to completely lose it. Like where you snap and then you do something that you regret. I think we've all been there. But that doesn't mean I can justify violence or the use of it. I will not justify it or condone it. But I also won't act like I've never been there, done that either, because I'm sure I have. So that's my views on it, right? It's like what Jesus says. Before you go around telling people, hey, you got a little something in your eye. Do you know you got something in your eye? You got a little speck in your eye. And the person that's telling the other person that they got a speck in their eye, well, that person has an entire log in their own eye. So Jesus says, before you go pointing out the speck in other people's eyes, make sure you don't have an entire log in your own. And if you do, remove it. Don't forget to remove the log out of your own eye before you go finding the speck in somebody else's eye. Which basically he's saying, before you go pointing the finger and finding fault with others, right, or condemning others, look at your own life first. See if your life is a fine example before you point out the faults of others, right? Make sure your life is exemplary, however you, a good example, right? So that's my views on it, you guys. I don't condone it. I don't condemn him. Maybe this will teach him something, and hopefully the two can forgive each other, right, and move ahead, move forward, and maybe we can all learn a lesson from it. But I hope the lesson isn't, hey, now I can get away with smacking people because Will Smith got away with it, so I guess I can too. That's stupid. That's terrible kind of thinking, right? Very immature. So anyway, I hope this has blessed you, and I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great one.